Hey guys, welcome back to the Martin Racing Channel. In today's episode, we're gonna finish getting the pit bike build put back together. Super excited about doing this. We had to take a little break for a little while because we ended up getting the wrong cylinder. It was a 69 millimeter and it needed to be a 78 millimeter cylinder. So we've got that shipped back from TB Parts and we're gonna get started on the build today. And I'll show you what to make sure doesn't happen for you whenever you order your kit. So without further ado, here we go. So before you ever go to purchase your big bore kit or your race engine kit, you need to make sure that you measure your cylinder. And you can do this on the bike and get pretty close, but you want to make sure that you do that from the get-go. And so this one is 78 millimeters.
That one's 78.
And this one is also 78 millimeters. So on the first video, we ended up getting a 69 millimeter cylinder that was sent to us from TB Parts because I ordered the 138cc big bore kit. And this engine is a little bit different. So remember I said this is the Zongshin 54x54, and this kit actually makes it a 54x57 millimeter. And with doing that, you end up getting your 138cc. Most of those 54x54 engines have the 69 millimeter cylinder, and of course this one had the 78. So it ended up making us have to take about a 2-week break. Also, something that's really awesome, and I don't have a way to show you, is that the factory cylinder is probably, I mean, at least 6, 7, maybe 8 pounds. And this one, I mean,
It's crazy.
if it's 2 pounds, I'd be impressed. I mean, it's maybe 2 to 3 pounds. It's a big difference in weight. So it's very awesome. So we're gonna end up having a little bit of weight savings also. So we had already done the piston ring end gap on the other cylinder, but we got to redo that for this new cylinder to make sure that it's right. So we're going to go about doing that right now and get it all ready to rock and roll. So hopefully we can get this put together. All right, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to go ahead and slide the piston into the cylinder, and then we're going to attach the wrist pin when we install the cylinder. There it went.
So we just barely got enough room.
You gotta try to slip that pin in.
Pretty close.
There it goes.
A little tolerance. See where it's got IN in that groove, in the where the valve relief is, where it says IN. That's the intake. So in this case, it'll be the top. That's where the fuel comes in. Now we're gonna see if we can get this bad boy in now. Put this wrist pin in. Hold it in.
It's a 3-week waiting process right here for this moment. See if this works.
Let me get some oil in that wrist pin.
All right.
It's probably got some, put some oil. Just in there. All right. Tell me when it's lined up and I'll push this in.
A little further, right there. Yeah, you move a little bit more. Yep.
There it's going. Just had to get it just right.
Little pressure. There it is. So right now he's putting those paper towels back there, because what we're trying to prevent, we do not want anything to get inside of that main block while we're trying to put this clip in here. So
just in case it slips, because it's kind of tight in here. Kind of got to get one side in and then roll the other side into it. My hands are oily, that don't help. All right, so once, you need to make sure that clip's all the way in the groove, because you know it could not quite be in it, so just need to kind of spin it and make sure it's in the groove good, because if that came out, it'd be a mess.
stopping right there.
It sounds pretty freaking solid though, don't it?
It went in that time a little bit. Well. I got a gap at the top on my side. That's it.
This timing's rubber thing right now. Come here a minute.
Okay.
There's the bolt. See if you can use, I'm gonna use the flashlight and look, and I'm gonna try to line the hole up. There's the bolt that's gonna go in it. If I get the hole lined up. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. What do you need?
Millimeter?
End deeper?
Yeah. Somewhere around there. Oops.
If that's it. Now, what did it say about putting something on the head gasket?
Some kind of sealant. Handlebars. Pin here. And then not in at the top left. All right, so when you get to this part and you put the gasket here to go between the cylinder and the head, it's gonna say on their little instructions, remember this is for 88cc, it's just something that they have that we used as a guide, but it's gonna tell you that you need to put a gasket into this hole here, but whenever you read on TB Parts website about the actual cylinder head, it says that you do not need a gasket between the race head and the cylinder itself. Everything should be good.
What's it here?
I don't know. Something's hitting it.
Oh, it's supposed to just be 4 bolts going through it. Oh, it's hitting. Solid.
So we went on and built the head, but we're trying to see if what's going on. We got whenever sliding the head on, it's hitting. So we're trying to figure out what's taking place.
Maybe they just need to go in further.
Possible.
Like that.
So all we had to do was push the.
Just
what do we
push
have?
them in up further.
All right.
They're slide better now.
It ought to.
I knew something wasn't G-hawing. So I hate the government outlawed two strokes. It's so much easier.
Well, they're starting to bring them back. Trying to.
Got to get on them little studs.
Yeah, you got it. Just had to put some manpower into it.
It just ain't no, we ain't getting much, a whole lot of force on nothing.
Yeah. All right, so remember, top dead center, what you want to do, you have this notch here. This actually, at top dead center, is about right at this point. And so, once this is correct, you have to look over here at the notch, and then you can see that little dot that he's pointing to with, right there, that notch, and then that little dot right there on the gear is what we're lining up. And then that's supposed to be top dead center. So
Look right.
it looks right to me. We're finna find it.
Yeah,
Let's. We did have to rotate that back just one tooth on the gear itself so that we could get it to line up better. It was really close before, but we got it dead on now. So make sure you double check that before you go in to put everything in place. I think I read something that said
where's the other?
yeah, after you have set the cam timing and the cam gears in place, the diamond-shaped oil restrictor plate needs to be bolted down to 87 foot-pounds. Blue Loctite is recommended.
Give me the other
I
screw.
mean, 87 inch-pounds.
The other little bolt.
I just handed it to you.
You only handed me one.
Good. So I'm pulling a U. Give me a second. Here it is.
I just need to undo my finger here.
I got you. I gotta find Blue Loctite.
I had some, and I don't know
Here.
how much is in it. But we're gonna have to go find a little bitty, we got to go find.
Yeah, it's gonna be 7 foot-pounds on them too, and it does show it right here. It doesn't use the
that thing.
yeah.
All right, so, but we're gonna have to get a wrench that fits into our torque wrench.
All right. So unlike the other head,
it's
you're not
smaller.
running this bolt all the way through.
To hold the timing chain cover on.
All it has is this little plate and these two bolts here, and we're gonna have to put some blue thread locker on them, and we're gonna torque them to 7 foot-pounds. But we're gonna put everything else. Everything else is fixing to get torqued to 8 foot-pounds real quick, and then we'll do that afterwards after everything else is set. We just wanted to make sure that we had that set to where we wouldn't lose the timing marks and have that cam set where we wanted it to. So they sent 4 copper washers, and this one, let's see if I can get my finger over here. This one right here is skinnier, and so this is gonna be the crushed copper that we're gonna put here, and I'm gonna put that down there on the bottom left. I put the other ones up here also.
We had steel ones before, but they didn't send any steel ones. So that's the only ones that looks like should go there.
Once again, the reason we're trying to make this video for you is because there's no instructions. So
Instructions are vague.
yeah, so since there's no instructions, we're trying to make this set up for you to where whenever you do it, you got something you can look back on and be like, hey, what did those guys do? So that's the purpose of this video today. So these all get torqued to 8 foot-pounds. All right, so we just got this cover on. We're fixing to put the intake and exhaust valve covers on. This cover, let's see if I can get to it. This cover right here, the bolts are too long for it. So I got to try to figure out what I'm going to do with that. Or were these able to work?
Yeah, but they're not going in the, if you
No,
tighten
right.
it down, it's gonna mar it all up.
All right, so we're gonna have to get some that work. You have to go get a NGK CR6 HSA spark plug because you're not going to be able to run your stock spark plug anymore. And then it wants the gap between 0.6 to 0.7 millimeters is what your gap has to be at. And this filler gauge is
0.63,
so we should be good to go.
yeah.
This the carb spacer that they sent, it's a little thick. I'm gonna try to use it. If I can't, then I'm gonna end up having to use the factory one. It's a little bit different. I mean, it's almost double. Let's see if you can see that. Almost double the thickness, and so that's supposed to. It's just a heat spacer, so we'll end up using it here in just a second. But we're gonna go ahead. Also had to buy these. These are just here to hold it in, but had to buy 3 of the little bolts that they send in the kit like this. These are too long. And so I just went to Ace Hardware and bought some. They're a 5 by 0.8.
Yeah.
And so you'll have to do that if you're running this setup also. We're gonna pull the spark plug out, make sure everything turns over. It's a little tight feeling, so kind of wondering about it. Feels like something hit. Let's stop. We got something not right.
Sounds like something hitting on it.
Yep.
Right,
Right
see, that's
there.
the valve coming down.
Yep.
That valve's hitting the piston.
Okay. All right, so once again, we're back at another stopping point. Whenever you push this over, piston's coming up and hitting the valves in the head, so I'm gonna have to troubleshoot some more with TB parts and see what's going on. So once again, remember we already had to change this over to a 78 millimeter because it wasn't right, so I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do with this now. So stay tuned. Another disappointing ton of hours spent trying to figure out what's going on, but hopefully this will be helpful for you so that you don't have to go through the same trouble that we're going through. So once we figure it out, I'll make sure to let you know what's up. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next episode.